Well, here we are once again, Giancarlo, you and I, me and you and me, together again. What a pleasure! I don't know. I don't have even words to describe how happy I am. And hello, everybody. Our second Decoding in English, and we have today with us Giancarlo Pozzoli, one of the what I would say most influential people in my life, not only professional, but also personally speaking. So to me, it's a true honor, Giancarlo, to have with me today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for take the challenge. Nice to see you. And well, as you know, you can interact with us if you want. If anybody's listening to us, and also you can watch this in the interview that we will, post on YouTube and also on Spotify as a podcast. And well, as you know, I love to introduce Giancarlo Pozzoli. Well, Giancarlo, everybody, but Giancarlo Pozzoli in this case. Why do I consider Giancarlo Pozzoli one of the most talented rebels that I've ever met? And what I would say that not only Giancarlo is one of the most emotional, intelligent person that I ever met, but also is a true businessman that knows how to create business and teams with soul, with alma, And I want to share also that Giancarlo is one of the really few people that didn't allow me to reject him. Let me explain that, because when Giancarlo we were in the recruiting process. Why should you remember that, Giancarlo? Or not? Do you remember that?
Please go.
Yeah, I am in a process with a pharmaceutical company. I want to wait. You cannot wait. Okay, I will go for the pharmaceutical company. No, you won't. We were dealing, and suddenly, and then, finally, he convinced me through true conversations around business, Giancarlo, I would say, because we were speaking a lot about business, about people in business, about humanizing business. And we do connect. We plug in, perfectly, and I remember that pretty well. It's not easy to, I don't know how to say it, to live with me as a report, I suppose. And Carlos, you can tell more about that. But you knew perfectly. I suppose that you continue knowing pretty well how to deal with me, how to obtain the best of me, and all my commitment, and if I'm committed, I can do great things. So you have my full commitment till the very last minute that I was with you, and also you take care of me. You took care of me a lot, so I really appreciate that. I want to say thank you again for those wonderful 5 years that we spent together. Thanks so much, Giancarlo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I mean, thank you so much to you. I'm truly embarrassed for this introduction. That is lovely. It's fantastic. It's more than lovely. Actually, it's quite, let me say, it's quite strange, to be here after 1 hour, after 1 year and a half that we don't speak together for a lot of, let me say, live reasons, and we do it, in live mode. I love it. Thank you for having me. And let me start with a sort of confession. Okay, so
please,
this is not the best setup for me, because maybe you remember that I love to prepare myself for the things, I love to structure, I love to, at least, I love to have a sort of frames, and inside frames, I flow and I dance.
Yeah.
But actually, and just for an example, yesterday a contact of mine wrote me a message and messaged me and texted something like, "Could we have a conversation together?" So I need an advice, and I replied, "Sure. If you want to anticipate me something, I can arrive with a couple of ideas." So he was anticipating me a document. I was reading a document, and then But what I want to say, Rafa, is that exactly because this is not the best setup for me, I love it. So I love the idea to flow with you without preparation, without structure, without nothing, as you say. And so let's do it together. You know?
Yeah, I would have a 1 million conversation with you. I would ask you a million things. I am remember how much I do respect you for a lot of things that you did in the past and that I saw you do. But well, let's see if this appears or not during our conversation. But Giancarlo, I'm highly interested, and this is a mandatory question here, Decoding Rebels. That is, do you believe, Giancarlo, that a talented rebel or a rebel talent is born or is made? What do you think? What do you think? What is your gut feeling? Do you have an opinion on that? I'm sure that you do.
It's made.
It's made. Please.
Yeah. Because this is connected to one strong belief that I have. I strongly believe in the potential of human beings, and there is a nice song in Italy that said something like, "I'm obsessed by the hidden perfection that relies inside each of us." So I strongly believe that we are, all of us, we are using very small piece of our huge potential. So, and I have the sensation that if we don't meet someone in our life that helps us in identifying our talent and in expressing our talent and in improving things connected to our talent, maybe we risk to live our life thinking that we don't have talent, and maybe we have incredible talents. So, I mean, of course, there is a source of talent that is, something special, a special ability, that people can have based on specific things. But I strongly believe, that it's really depends if we have the opportunity to identify it, to express it, and to develop it. And, about this, it's fundamental to meet in our path teachers or mentors or coaches or people very simple that want to help us and want to help expressing the great that we have inside.
Don't you think, Giancarlo, that there is also a part of even though it's very important to find someone in your way that you could be for me, someone that stress you, someone that asks you to be better, inspires you, or whatever. But don't you think that you also need to be open-minded to receive that gift? What do you think?
Yes, you cannot help someone that doesn't want to be helped. This is something that we share together during one sunset.
A lot of times.
A lot of times.
A lot of times, yeah, a lot of times, of course. But yeah,
but that's a
please.
challenge. Sorry, Rafa. The challenge is, how are you asking the person? How are you inviting the person to be helped? Because this can be tricky. I mean, if someone doesn't want to be helped, it's finished. It's over. Okay, so we can speak about football. We can speak about Real Madrid and all the Champions Leagues.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone maybe doesn't know and he or she has some resistances, it's possible, that. But it's not a matter of older people, managers. You were someone like this for me, and I was hierarchically, formally your boss, but you taught me a lot of things, and I learned a lot of things from the most junior people in Brazil, So it's not a matter of seniority, age, or stuff like this. It's a matter of having someone that wants, to help you in expressing yourself, and that maybe sees something in you that maybe you have not seen yet.
How was well? You do know, Giancarlo, and I know that you are someone special. You know that, and I want to learn something. I'm sure that I'm going to learn something new. How was Giancarlo as a child? How were you as a child? Do you was so rebel or not? Or you were a really good student? How was you when you was 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old? How were you?
Exactly.
Do you remember? Really? Please, please.
I was an extreme, well, there is a term in Italian, I don't know in English, tormentated, that maybe it's tormentado, I don't know if it's in English, you know. You have the storms inside yourself, you know.
Yeah.
I was really suffering, you know, because I wanted to be normal. I was struggling to be as all the others. I wanted to be, you know, to fade away inside a group of people. But there was always something, you know, that was, let me say, getting me out of the crowd. And I was suffering a lot. I didn't want, I was incredibly shy. I was incredibly disciplined, you know. I was following all the rules in a very disciplined way because, you know, I was terrified not to be loved. So actually, it's interesting to think about this today because, well, you know, I thought I was not creative. I thought I was not good at relationships. I thought a lot of shit, let me say, that it was not me. But in that time, I was suffering a lot, you know. So, and for me, it was very, very difficult, this period of time. You know, I was reading a lot. I was listening a lot because I didn't want to make a step forward in the things that I was doing because I was terrified to be rejected.
You were alone in your family, or you have brothers, sisters? You have a sister, could be?
I have two sisters, one older and one younger.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And how you were growing up? Because you were a sportsman. You did sport a lot.
Yeah. Always. Yeah.
How did you start? How did you start doing sports and so on? Because a lot of people use sports to socialize. Also, I don't know if it was your purpose or not, but a lot of people do that for this reason.
My purpose with sport was to somehow face my fears.
You played football, didn't you? You played football.
You know, I was playing a lot of sports. I was playing basketball, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was playing basketball, arriving quite a nice level, you know, when you have when you are 20 years old. So nothing professional, but you know, the level that the upper level is the professional. So actually, you remember, I'm quite small, but I was playing as a playmaker. But actually, you know, there is a nice story about sport because I don't know if you remember, but I need to swim every 2 or 3 days, you know, because of my balance and because I love it. But when
you run also every day. You run every day in the past. I suppose that you still doing that or not?
Yeah. I have my own rule: 1 hour sport every day. You know, independently on where I am, what I do, with whom I do, with whom I am. 1 hour sport. You know, for me, it's a must. You know, it's a must for my good balance. And you know, about swimming, about swimming, Rafa, I was incredibly terrified about the water, and this is quite connected.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah, because it's connected with the unconscious side of the mind. I would have been learning, let me say, later in my life. So I was terrified, and I remember very well this situation with my father. You know, I had to go to make my exercise. And I was, you know, staying, you know, headache and stomach ache as always. And my father was great because he told me, well, if you are not okay, don't worry. Let's go back home. No problem. You can come back the next time. You know, but this kind of thing, you know, was pushing my was creating a challenge. You know, was pushing my character. So
your rebel inside. Your rebel inside.
Probably.
It's like an awaken. You awaken.
Probably. And so I said, no, Dad, I want to go. And he told me, but you are not okay. And so I want to go. And so, you know, I was going to swimming, and every time it was easier. Every time, very slow process. Every time it was easier and easier and easier and easier. And you know, today I need to swim every day, or at least to make sport every day. But it was not socializing. So, yeah.
What did you study, Giancarlo? What did you study in the college, at the institute? What did you study? Science. You were more for
science, and I made a big mistake.
Why?
Because
Why?
I should study literature, you know. So I love to write.
I was going to ask you, where are you going to write your first book? Because I want to be the first to buy it. When are you? I don't care the theme, you know. You can write whatever you want. I will buy it. I will read it 1,000,000%. So are you thinking of writing a book or not?
I am writing a book since quite a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's not
That's
yet
right.
finished. So I am changing a lot of direction. So at the proper time, it will be ready, and so in the proper time, you will be one of the first that
Please,
I will tell
please.
you about the book.
What is it? What is about? Could you share with us something about what it's about?
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
about
big picture, big picture.
big picture, Rafa. It's very simple, you know. It's about connecting people, working with people, having the people at real center of our minds and not only the organization. So, I mean, I am quoting a lot of experiences I was living in Wiser International and also in Spain, you know. So actually, it's something about how to get in touch with people in the most pure and genuine way in order to let emerge the rebel talent inside all the people, you know.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Back. So you studied science and you made a big mistake, but you finished your studies. How it was? How it was?
Well, you know, Rafa, when I have something, I'm an achiever, you know. So when I have something in
Yes,
my
you
mind, I achieve it. So actually, I was hating math, I was hating science, I was hating physics, but I was quite good at school, you know.
Because you have a past. You told me once. We never went deep around this topic, but you told me that you were singing in a group of music, rock music. I remember. So how is this story? How did you jump into the music? How did you start? Because you were very shy, but you started singing. And how was that process, Giancarlo? How was that process?
This was another step of facing fears, you know, because I was terrified by public speaking. But
Now you are great. Now you are great public speaker. Great public speaker.
I like it now, but it was a long journey, you know. So actually, I was terrified. But you know, generally speaking, public speaking is considered the second strongest fear that we have in our life after the fear of death. You know, so it's incredible how much sensations and negative emotions can be emerging during the public speaking. So I was not an exception. On the contrary, I was feeling very bad. But I can see, you know. So actually, there was at university there was a group of very close friends that established a band, and they already had a singer, a very good singer, by the way. I was not a very good singer. I could see that it's different.
It's different. It's sanitary, but it's different. Yeah.
So I imposed my presence. You know, I literally obliged them to
look who is listening to us. Look who is listening to us. Giancarlo, do you see this Vera de Mirel with us? Can you see it or not?
Okay.
Yeah, it's Vera writing. I'm lucky I listen to him. Yeah.
Ciao, Vera, I love
Ciao,
you.
Vera. Yeah, great guy, Vera. So you were telling me, so you imposed your presence, and you said, you know, I need to be in this band, so I want to sing. So
yeah,
and then you just started. Did they say okay, or how was the process?
Yeah, I mean, the band was really shitty. Okay, so it was a really shitty band. So I mean, everyone was shitty. So the only one good was the singer. But the singer is a very nice guy. He's still a big friend of mine. So I was, you know, agreeing with him. Hey, I don't steal you too much space, but let me sing. Come on, no problem. You know, so we can do one sing you, one sing. Yeah. So actually, we had 3 concerts, and the first one was a triumph because actually it was. Yeah, it was a triumph because, you know, university time. So the friends of the friends of the friends of the friends, you know, something like 150 people because we had a very big
wow
friends, and you know everybody completely, you know, amazed. Then the second concert was quite good because there was again quite a bunch of people, you know, that were supporting us. But the real story was the third concert. We didn't have friends, only real public, and it was a disaster.
Because nobody went, or because you did a shitty performance, or both?
Shitty performance. My performance was the shittiest one among the others, but also the others were, let me say, increasing the level of shit. So it was really terrible. And, you know, the audience went to the owner of the bar complaining, "Who are these guys? They have ruined our night."
But did you still enjoy the moment, or not? You were feeling that this is city, what we are doing in the city, or you were enjoying, just enjoying?
No, I was incredibly embarrassed, incredibly suffering. Rafa, I was not enjoying so much the moment, you know, really, to be truly honest, and I am, as you. So, yeah. I mean, it was really a bad night, and for me, it was terrible.
And was your last concert with that band, or it was your death? You know,
over.
Dead end, over, and that's all. Okay, so Giancarlo, you studied science. You were in a rock band. You did a lot of things. I can imagine. So how did you make your first professional steps? How it was? Did you choose them? They choose you? How it was?
It was again, but you know, it's curious because looking back to the past, I don't want to speak only about negative things, but it was very negative, you know. So that's the truth, you know. So I can say that, you know, I arrived at around 30 years old to start enjoying the life, and now I enjoying, you know, at full 1,000,000%. Exactly, you know. But about the job, I was doing the wrong choice because I was starting in finance only for money. Really, I mean, as simple as that, you know. There were some opportunities. This opportunity in finance was the one with the highest salary. I wanted it. I took it, and after 1 year, you know, of course, I quit because I was not happy. And then on the other side, I entered IBM because I was very fragile. You know, somehow, you know, there is mom IBM. You know, still there is this metaphor. So I needed mom IBM somehow to take care of me. You know, but I'm doing something about technical stuff, not about.
Yeah. Sorry, Giancarlo, take care with your mic, because when you know, you're making a lot of noise.
Okay.
When you hit the mic, is making a lot of noise. Okay. Just beware. Just be beware.
Thank you, Rafa.
That's all. So you were telling me, mom IBM, you were there in a cozy, you were cozy there, no? Didn't you? How it was? For how long did you stay there? For how long?
4 years.
4 years. 4 years is a lifetime at that age, isn't it?
4 years, a lifetime in a very, let me say, interesting period of time, and I was suffering. Let me say, Rafa, the real turnaround was with Michael Page. And, you know, I know it's quite curious to say, you know, because we know the company, at least, you know, we know the company at that time, because now I know that they are changing a lot and they are changing for the good. But, you know, in that time, but the point is, you know, that when I started in Michael Page, and I remember very well the first placement, I had this incredible fulfillment and the sensation to have been useful for someone and useful for a company. I was flying, you know, it was incredibly good. Even if it was...
This is what... but this is when you discovered your passion for coaching.
Yes.
That moment, more or less, you just started getting interested in people, and you started, getting curious, and then you arrived to coaching because you love coaching and you're a really, really good coach. Something that I would say about you is that you are the person that has given the most care and the most human feedback that I ever had. You.
Thank you, Rafa.
Really, you challenged me and always gave me feedback. And I knew, even though I didn't want to listen to some things, but I knew that you do care. And this, my friend, this is a gift, and this is priceless. This is priceless. I suppose that you know that, but I want to highlight it. So you just started. When you started with the coaching, how did you arrive to coaching, Giancarlo? When you say, "Okay, I'm going to study this," when?
Well,
do you remember?
Yeah. Let me say, in Michael Page, I discovered my passion for people. Okay. Then after Michael Page, I decided to join a company involved in training, coaching, organizational consulting. So that was the moment that I was attending at a coaching certification school. I'm a coach certified coach with 2 certifications.
I know.
And actually, the curious thing, is that when I was doing this master, that is 1 year training, so quite serious, I saw a lot of people struggling in the classroom. And for me, it was incredibly easy.
A pleasure.
Yeah. For me, I was in my zone, So I was saying, sorry, but where is the problem here? Because it's too easy for me. Because I was spending so much time in my life listening to people because I didn't want to speak, because I was too shy to speak. Yeah. So actually,
that's great. And well, then I wanna ask you now, Giancarlo, how you said something very important. One of the purpose of this podcast moment, this Decoding Rebel, is entertain with true stories, human stories. Meeting people from the other side and listening to other kind of stories, but also to inspire somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, you said something really, really important. Said, I've been suffering a lot in my life for different reasons, but there was a turning point, and nowadays I'm fully happy. I'm fulfilled, and I do what I want to do. So, when and how did you get those skills? I don't know if you say skills or mindset or way of living. When did you? There is a moment that you said, well, now I want to feel to live my life in a full way, or how it was. You remember that or not?
Of course. Well, it was a process, Rafa. Okay. So actually, this is why the first years of my working experience, I was suffering a lot, But actually, it was a matter of meeting, let me say, people that helped me, helped me in identifying my way, identifying my skills, identifying my attitudes, so I could have a voice. So it was not something overnight. It was a process. And also I was experimenting a lot, so that's the other important thing. As I was saying before, I was fearing the water, so I was going to swim. I was fearing the public speaking, so I was going to sing in a rock band, So actually, it's my sister is psychiatric, and she tell me that I am a counterphobic person. So, and it's true. When I have a phobia, I go against the phobia. Yeah, I want to expose myself to the phobia, and at the end, the phobia fades away because you live so many experiences in the phobia that the phobia can fade away. It's not easy. Come on, you have to stand. You have to stand the embarrassment, the failures, the moments when you suck at something. Come on, let's say it in a very truly way. But I am like this, So I was like, this was my, let me say, real. This saved my life, and now for me it's a methodology. When such a day I have something that I am scared of, I deep dive inside. So I would say, in terms of inspiration, I would say, don't stop, move, move forward, following the talents that you feel, the things that you feel that are easy for you, and accept the failure, accept the risk, and go ahead.
When I was listening to you, Giancarlo, I was making my own reflection, because I do live my life in the same way. But when I ask you, when was the time that you made this turn around and you changed and that? I don't know when was that precise moment, but I can see myself when I truly commit with myself in my self-knowledge, self-awareness path.
Wow.
I truly believe that you cannot grow if you don't know yourself, if you don't expose yourself and who you truly are, your true self, say, and you should expose what I used to say is you have to expose yourself to the mirror. You have to. I'm trying to say it in English, but you have to put your soul in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
And you are going to see things that you like and things that you don't like.
True.
So, and there's a process when you have to first I did deny them, then I accept them, and now I live with them, trying to be the best version of myself every single day. One day I'm more, more precise, or more I achieve it, or other days don't. But this is how I feel. And when it was at Michael Page, and when they gave me a training around the DISC test. Do you remember the dominance, influence, stable? And they asked me. It was they told us the process and so on, the colors, and they were the professor was asking everybody in the room, okay, now that you know the process, which color do you think you are? Everybody, no, I'm green and yellow. And I said, they came to me and said, I'm green, and he suddenly stopped. He was passing by one another. Okay, yeah. And I came there. I'm green. Because what I understood was green was a really human people. This is what I understood. Now I understood better the process. But very human, very kind, a really good friend of his friends, and so on. And I project myself there. But he stopped and told me, "Okay, Rafa, you say green, but do you know that every one of us see you as a red?" And I say, what? Red. And was a really shock to me, because when he put some examples of people from the organization, I'm not going to say names for respect, but the people that he gave us as an example of red was a people that I don't want to say hate, but I didn't want to be like him at all. So when he said, okay, you are red, I said, so am I like that guy? I don't want to be like this. So this was a true shock to me. And I can find myself, struggling, suffering somehow with, I don't want to be the way I am. I don't want to be the way I am. Because when I went out the class, everybody in the open space was telling me, now you know that you're red. Now you're flacco. I don't want to be red. But it was my first time. And since then, I've gone through a huge process of self-awareness, self-discovery. I want to think that this is a process that I am still in. I will never leave, I hope. So it's something that I want to share with you.
Very, very interesting, Rafa.
I don't know why.
Rafa, it's curious because, I had my turning point at Michael Page, and you had your moment of, let me say, awareness at Michael Page.
It's true. It's true. It was a really shocking moment to me, a life changer. Yeah. Saying like, okay, I don't want to be that way. Yeah. And then, the months coming, then I started coaching. I started coaching. I was, trying to discover myself, and I say, okay, I am red. I'm so direct. here are my demons. You know, I know perfectly my demons. I live with them. I hope to be, you know, softer, you know, every single year by year. But I do live with them. I accept myself. I appreciate myself, and from here, from respect to myself, I want to be better. I think that you cannot be truly better if you don't accept yourself. What do you think about that?
That's the base. The foundation of growth is self-awareness and acceptation. And the point is that self-awareness and acceptation is the most difficult thing. So if you don't make a step inside acceptation, you don't grow. This is why a lot of people don't grow. This is why you can speak with a 90 years old guy and maybe he's reasoning as a child. And, you know, I say it without any judgment because I never judge. Maybe you remember this, you know. So
yeah, I do.
My idea of the judgmental is that when you judge someone, you are speaking about you and your filters, and you are not speaking about the other person that is living a life in his own her own way. So actually, let me say, the acceptation is the foundation of growing. And this is why a lot of people fear the acceptation and cannot grow. It's let me say, it's chemical, you know.
Look, Rebecca is asking you, I suppose. Well, asking us, but if this is for you, I want you to go for it. Why do we fear knowing ourselves? Because, well, what is your opinion about that? Why do we fear knowing ourselves? Why?
Because we are not ready to look at the mirror and to see the things that we don't like. And so we prefer to keep them hidden, imagining that we are beautiful people. And maybe, of course, not maybe, of course, we have beautiful
Of course
traits.
you are. Of course you are.
We have beautiful traits, but we have also awful traits. You know, I call it, Rebecca, I call it the mix that for me it's beauty and shit, you know. So we all are composed of beauty and shit. So the point is that discover this, you know.
Yeah. Well, it has to do. It's quite a deep conversation. Could be. I don't want to be jumping on that too. But what I feel is what I said. No, you need to see something that you don't like. You don't like about yourself, and you need to accept that, and to truly value what you have. And well, this is a quite deep process.
And that's the point, Rafa. That's the point of the lucky of meeting someone that is helping you in speaking about these things, in accepting yourself, because this person is not going to judge you. It's just going to help you in accepting this. So, I mean, of course, if you are not ready to be helped, it's difficult that someone helps you. But if someone can smell these things and genuinely wants to help you, the magic arrives.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Well, it's a lot of things going through my mind right now. I had yesterday a quite interesting conversation with my wife around this topic. Because she's in her own process of accepting herself. No, and I share with her something that I think that maturity comes to your life when your happiness don't belong to others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very good point.
So
depends only on you.
Only on you. If other people can make you happy or unhappy, you're fucked.
Yeah.
The moment that you say, okay, my happiness rely only on me.
Yeah.
On myself. This is when you can say, you know, now I feel that I'm mature enough. So that's my.
I love
that's my point. I had a quite a good conversation around this. Okay, Giancarlo. So you were the global director. You did a astonishing job against nature. Well, I don't want to go in details to this, but against and thanks. Let's say against and thanks a lot of things. And suddenly one day you said, you know, I'm leaving. And I want to ask you, how was this process? What are you doing nowadays? How did you choose your career? Tell us something about this moment. No, you changed. You were the global director advisor. Now you are working at. I think that you're working at Futureberry. Could be true, or
Not
collaborating
really.
or something like that.
No.
How did you choose that direction? Please share with us that. Please.
Well, Rafa, the point is that against the opinions of my parents, of the 90% of my friends, thanks God, not of my partner, okay, so because she is quite important, so she was supporting me.
It's fundamental.
Yeah.
Fundamental, Giancarlo.
Definitely it is. So actually, Rafa, I decided to leave a job that I was living as a dream for 10 years, because it was a dream, you know. So I will always be thankful to GI Group and to Mr. Coliranzi for the opportunity of this job, you know. So he was believing in me when I was just starting a big project, and he, you know, he could also not do it. So, I mean, he gave me this opportunity. It was wonderful. It was fantastic. It's true, you know, that during these 10 years, I went through all the phases that the Polish philosopher consultant Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, I don't know if you never heard.
Csikszentmihalyi, the flow creator.
Exactly. So I was going all the phases, you know, so the anxiety and the struggle in the beginning, the peak of performance in the zone, and I started the boredom, you know, because I was doing this job for 10 years. And, you know, at the end, I could do this job, I think, in an effective way, okay? But I wanted something different. And in that moment, Alma arrived, and it was a complete, you know, another turning point.
Game changer.
Because I strongly believe, you know, that you cannot do an international job without a very strong touch with people. So this is my personal opinion. I know that there are tons of, you know, different opinions about this, but if we speak about starting up a business at international level, in my opinion, if there is not touch, physical touch, it's much more difficult, or at least it's much slower. You know, so actually I was, you remember, maybe I was traveling 3 weeks a month, 2 or 3 weeks a month, every month, all over 25 countries.
The world.
At the end, you know, it was beautiful. But now, today, at 5 o'clock, if I miss my daughter, I need to hug her, you know. So today it would be impossible. So I decided to start a job in Italy. And, you know, I didn't want to go another corporation like a competitor, I don't know, Adecco, Manpower, Randstad, you know. It was not what I was looking for, you know. So I was looking for a platform to help, to be helpful to people. And, you know, I am a certified coach. I was an headhunter. I am a trainer. I am an organization. I have several skills in the HR organizational sphere. So I was reasoning that I needed to identify people to help, you know, very basically speaking, you know. So I wanted to start a sales activity collaborating with different companies, you know, because actually when I meet a company, I let me say, explore the strategy of the company. I try to understand their needs. And then, you know, once I identify the needs, I can identify the right company that can support them. In some cases, nobody, you know. So in that case, the brutal transparency is the one, you know. So mainly I am collaborating with Futureberry, this company that works in the field of imagination, and I love it.
Innovation, creativity.
Creativity, innovation, imagination. So it's about cultural changes, it's about talent, it's about, let me say, a company is the company in the future. through change management process. I am collaborating with Great Place to Work. You know, that on the other side, it's much more, let me say, structure and based on numbers, and I love it, you know, because you can, through the Great Place to Work analysis, you can let emerge improvement areas that then the other companies can support, you know. And I work in coaching and occasionally also in a headhunting, you know. So that's what I'm doing. But actually, I am a freelance, you know. I started my entrepreneurial journey, and I am a freelance, you know, from 1,000 people in my scope to 0, and it's okay, you know. So,
okay, how do you feel, Giancarlo? Which are the keys of the? How do you see the future of work, Giancarlo? Yeah. I can imagine you know, a little bit. I don't want to say concerned, but I can see yourself, because I actually see myself in that way. For example, worrying about this humanizing of the world of work through metaverse or through technology or through whatever. How do you feel about that?
I feel incredibly good, because I think it's a huge opportunity. I think, you know, that we feel threatened by, let me say, a dimension and a perspective that is quite limited, you know, because this kind of robotics, machine and metaverse and the digital and all these things are going to oblige us to express our best in us, you know. So I'm very positive about this. I know that it's not easy. It's a process. There are a lot of ethical, organizational, normative things that need to be fixed. So, of course, I'm very confident that we are going to fix them, because if we don't fix them, especially the ethical stuff, it's a big problem. But really, Rafa, I'm not concerned at all about the humanization of robots and the robotization of human, if you want, because I have the sensation that the robotization of human will be limited, and instead the machines and the robots and all this stuff are going to invite us to grow and to grow our skills, to grow our best, and to express the best that we have.
My last question to you, Giancarlo, last but not least, is which is the next thing that you want to achieve?
Wow, very good question, Rafa. I want that Alma is happy. This is what I want to achieve. You know, Rafa, this is something interesting, you know. So when Alma arrived in my life, my values changed. Because before Alma, my perspective was individual. You know, I think value is important for me, like growth, like openness, like connection, like, you know, nice things. But when Alma arrived, something shocked me inside, a very good shock, fortunately. And now my family is the value number one. And without discussions, you know, I could, you know, dream to do whatever in my life. But the day that my family will be under pressure or under threat, I will do whatever it takes for the good of my family, whatever it takes and whatever it is, you know. I'm ready without hesitations.
You know what I used to say? I used to say that before my daughters arrived, I did not fear nothing.
I remember.
And now I fear something. It's like a new feeling in my life that I fear that something bad could happen to my daughters. It's a new feeling to me. It's true. That's what is recalling me your thoughts and your statement.
I remember, Rafa. I don't fear nothing was one of the, let me say, most repetitive sentences that you were sharing with me, and not only with me. And you told me this about your daughter. I remember very well. You told me about this upcoming fear, and it's absolutely, you know, understandable.
Yeah, it's true. Well, Giancarlo, I would ask you here, which was the worst part of working with me. The worst part. Let's check your brutal honesty.
Rafa, you know that I'm honest, and it's deep.
Please.
Because, you know, I'm used to remember with my feelings, you know, so not with my mind. You know, it's my body that is saying me something. It's a strange thing, but never mind. Maybe there was a moment where you were changing your professional dimension. You were still in wiser, but you already were somehow stepping out because you were listening to the voice of this new adventure of the rebel talent. And it was not easy in some moments to speak together about this stuff that I was feeling, but probably you were not aware of. So sometimes I tried to speak with you about this, and you were not understanding me. And so, you know, I was not pushing too much about this. But, you know, it was like, I don't know if you get it.
Yeah, but you know why I asked you this question? Because when I think about the worst thing about working with you, I cannot find anything. Really, I truly appreciate what you did for me, Giancarlo. I'm getting a little bit emotional now. I love you so. You taught me a lot of lessons on how to be a great and grow up a great business that you did an amazing job worldwide. And, you know, allowing me grow, telling me things that sometimes I didn't like to hear, but always in a really caring way. And I do appreciate a lot of that. So this is something that I cannot say from anybody that I've worked with. I have to say something bad, not so good, I would say. No, not so good, not bad, but not so good with almost everybody I've worked with, but not with you. And I never lie, as you know. I never lie. So that's the reason why this question was coming to my mind. So just to check. Giancarlo, I don't want to be you know, abusive of your time. It was a huge pleasure. It has been a huge pleasure to spend this time with you. A huge pleasure. I love you so. I hope to start doing business together again. We need to find a way. Come on, we need to find a way. If there's a will, there's a way. Let's do it, my friend. Let's do it.
Rafa, it's arriving. Okay, so I am sure it's arriving at the proper moment. Well, I want to share the last thought, you know, because you were very honest, yes. And also you were, as always, very courageous, you know, to ask this question, you know, in live mode. And I want to say something, you know. You were one of the three people in my professional journey that taught me more things without knowing that. Probably I was trying to share with you this sometimes, you know, but the point is that, you know, I was, if I think about my teachers, they are very strange people. I mean, how to say, but they are not the traditional teachers. Are you know, someone that jumped in my life and, you know, was teaching me a lot of things, even if there was not the traditional, you know, as I was saying before, older and junior and senior. No, it was something about people, and your way of being was helping me a lot to make a step forward to forward myself, you know? So actually, thank you so much for this.
Thanks to you, Giancarlo. As I told you, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that we will repeat in the future. Let's keep in touch. Let's find a moment to have a conversation together and explore and see. Please take care of your daughter Alma, your beauty. My best to you. Love you so.
Thank you so much, Rafa. Fuerte abrazo.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.